Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football. I use my over 20 plus years coaching experience of coaching all over the world to break down goals scored for and against teams in the Premier League. But this time I'm going to do a little bit more of a breakdown of Man United because I've been talking about it over and over. And this is a classic example in this game of why I've been saying Man United are absolutely, completely, 100% in a crisis. Anyone who's been listening to my videos for a long time, you'll know my take on Rashford. He can run a bit and kick a bit. Now, I was listening to a couple of commentaries from Goldberg on United Stand today, and he was talking about why doesn't Rashford pass the ball? Because he can't. He can run a bit and he can kick a bit. Now, if you don't understand what I mean by he can run a bit and he kick a bit, well, go back and look at some of my other videos where I do a longer breakdown on some of those stuffs. But here we go. United, it's never the owners of United that put themselves in this problem. Because let me put this as a simple example. If I wanted Harry Kane to be at my football club and I was the manager of Manchester United and I need 5 signatures to get that deal done and over the line, I'd have the money and the resources to fly all over the world to see those people in the club to get those 5 signatures and get him into my club in one day. So when people say, it's the Glazers. The Glazers have spent billions in the transfer market. They'll buy pretty much anybody, but you've got to explain why, and it's got to go through a process. Great. But I'd have that process done and buttoned up because I'd be a real manager, not someone there crying on the sideline because they may or may not got the players that they need and can't coach the players that they do have. And this is a classic example. Now let's get into it and look at a classic example of not being able to coach players properly. Ten Hag's played in a league where he's had the best players, and I know the type of coach. They played hipster coaching football where we've got our system and we want to do it. Yeah, but you don't have the players to play your system, so you're going to lose every single game. Yeah, but we've got our system and we're going to do it. Yeah, but you're going to lose every single game. You don't know what you're doing. You have to adapt your system to the players you've got and then slowly get rid of the players and bring new players in to adapt to the system that you want. You can't start off in the system you want if you don't have the players for it. And this is a classic example. Let's break this down as we move forward. Okay, so as we move this forward right here, Bosch, we can have a little look. There is nobody looking to pressure the ball. Absolutely nobody. You've got 3 marking 2 here, okay? So they're trying to create a pressure pocket, but then there's no pressure on the ball. There are all sorts of problems with what's going on here. Players completely free here, completely and utterly free. You've got 3 players here and there's no pressure on the ball. He needs to go, he needs to drop a bit, and he needs to drop a bit. They don't know really what they're doing. This guy's a new sign, so I can let it go from him. Oh, look, that guy I said is completely and utterly unmarked. 2 midfielders can't get close enough because you can just move the ball before they get there. Let's watch what happens. Bosch moves the ball, plays it up, knocks it back, and plays the ball through. This is under 10's level of sophistication of playing up, back, and through. And yet the Manchester United Premier League team haven't got a clue. The players are shocked by it. That is how bad Ten Hag is as a manager. That's not just him. Most modern managers are useless anyway. Simple up, back, and through, and they're caught out. On the races, he's not ready. Look at him. He doesn't know where to go. He should already be on his bike because as soon as that ball comes in there's no pressure on the ball. He needs to start taking away the space. Why? The space is dangerous and so is the ball. In this situation, he can't pressure the ball. He needs to take away the space and start backing up. And this guy's miles, look, playing everybody on side. You can see him in the corner here. Look at that. Rubbish. Bosch. As it goes, look at the gap here. This gap is going to be important, right? Because if there's a gap that is at the start of the play, there'll be a gap at the end of the play. Okay? Let's see how the gaps develop and how everything moves as we flow forward. Bosch goes on, bump, starts running. Okay, fair. He's trying to cover, but he's going too far wide because he's not really a good centre-back. And he should be calling one of his players to get back here. We've got 2 players now. Look how bad these players are. What are you doing pressuring this football? You've got a player in behind you. You need to back up and deal with your player. This guy needs to pressure the ball. Now you've got 2 players here pressuring the ball, not knowing what they're doing. 2 players, 1 ball. Neither of them are really pressuring it. Watch it. Both split straight away. It's too late now. They're all in trouble. All in trouble. Remember this space. Remember this space. As we move it forward. Bosch, off we go. Oh, look at that space. Not tracking his runner. Let's see where that runner comes from for a second. There he goes. It's right next to him. At the start, he's right next to him. Here we go. Now he's nowhere near him. Absolutely nowhere near him. Ball comes in. Oh my God, starts to panic. He's putting his hand up now. Remember that space? Watch what ends up happening. Bosch, ball comes across. Through the legs. And that space is still there the whole time. Nothing changes with that space. Why? Because the midfielders are all off 6s and 7s. So no, it's a makeshift back 4. But this is the Manchester United in the Premier League. This shouldn't be happening. Any way, shape or form. And it's easy. Bosch, 1-0, and away you go. Everything about that goal shows you class from Brighton, but I mean basics. It's absolute basics they've done. They split the lines with a simple pass. Let's go back and see that. Split the lines, 1-2 lines with a simple pass into a man who's completely and utterly free. Look how much time he's got to do it. Bosch, all the time in the world. All the time in the world. Bosch split the lines with a simple pass. As soon as that ball's gone up, he's just knocking it back and he's finding the next pass. It's that easy. That's just embarrassing. Let's get on to the next goal and see how bad this Man United team really is. Okay, so here we start again. Let's have a little look. There's a gap there. There's a gap. Can we see the gap? Let's see what happens. Bosch. As we start moving forward, little wee man gets the ball, goes over here. Now this is where I wanted to pick us up. As you can see, there's a gap appearing again here. But look, you've got a midfielder right here who's not doing anything. You can see a player, doesn't choose to pick him up. Doesn't choose to do anything. Another player walking, but that's I watched a bit of the game, that's why I know he's walking. Right, let's go. Move this on a bit. Here we go. Now it's getting tight. Now we've got 2 players and we've got no defenders, but we've got 2 players trying to win the ball again. Simple, basic defending. There's 2 of you, 1 football. 2 of you cannot have the football. So 2 of you should not be trying to win the football. You should be getting yourself in a defensive shape to cover that. So as he's there pressuring, this guy needs to come in and cover here. Now 2 things happen if he does his defensive shape properly and comes in here. He doesn't have to come in and mark him, because this guy will, and also this guy can't run into that space. Do you see that space there? When I draw that, see that space there? Let's watch what happens here. Push. There's the space, because this guy, they're in a flat line. If you look at these 3 defending, right, remember the goal's over here. They're defending in a flat line here. What are you doing? Straight flat line with the ball here. Just played straight through him. I mean, it's just it's completely terrible. This guy panics. I don't know what he's doing. He's absolutely panicked. Look at him. Furious. Whoosh. That is naive defending. Absolutely naive defending. And he's caught out. And the ball's in the back of the net for 2-0. That is supposed to be a Premier League defender there. He should be reading the danger, being calm and patient, knowing that he's not going to shoot, because you can see by his body shape he's not going to. He's going to actually take a touch. Let's just move that for Bush. He's not going to shoot. You can see that. And even if he is, stay on your feet, because the minute you do something stupid like that, you're beaten, and it's 2-1. Sorry, 2-0. Let's get on to the last goal. Here we go again. Simple ball out wide. It's just a bit of a foot race. Okay, foot race transition goals. It's a bit of a 50-50 sometimes, because if they're faster than you, there's nothing you can do. But let's have a look and see what happens as it transpires as we move forward. Right, man completely unmarked here in the middle. He's kind of really unmarked. These defenders are not even looking at the football. Look, he has no interest in looking at the football. Neither does he. They're all just running back. And what I call it's called Instagram players. They try to look good, but they're not actually doing anything. Just like Instagram. Kind of looks good, but it doesn't actually do anything. Right, let's have a little look as we move it forward. Bosch goes forward again. Okay, no, not much is happening, except for now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players, and we've got 1 Man United player. 1. Here's a clue, mate. What you should be doing is going out to pressure the football. You do not put yourself in a position where he can beat you. You just pressure him to slow him down, to give your teammates time to come back. He's got no interest in that. He's running back to his goal to give him a hug. Hey, goalkeeper, I'm going to come hug you. Now he's stopping to go and pressure the ball. Look. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's just embarrassing. And at that point, everybody had to sprint back. And you can see, look, there's people screaming, they're queuing up to kick the ball in a goal. Boff. And to be fair, I think the keeper may have... he should have done better probably. And he's in a bad spot. But he's not, to me, he's not that great of a goalkeeper anyway. So I can't expect him to play as good as De Gea or Ederson or Alisson or someone like that. Because he's just not good enough. Like, he's not at that level of saving goals. He might be okay at the football, kicking the ball around, but actually saving and being a goalkeeper, commanding and doing that, I don't think he's up there. Is he a 7 or 8 out of 10? Yeah. Is he a 9 or 10 out of 10? No. 9 or 10 out of 10 saves that. He's a 7 or an 8. Let's be honest. And there we go. And that's the last goal for Brighton. And I do want to show you the next Man United goal because it's a bit of a good one. Let's have a look at it. Wee man here picks the ball up right in the centre here. There's nothing on, which is kind of good because everybody's marked. There is one pass he could probably play if he had the skill to put it into this area here for the run a bit, kick a bit Rashford to knock it into the goal. But he can't do it. But he can do this. Let's watch. Bosch takes his touch. They leave him because he's young. They're not expecting him to do this. Bang! Straight into the net box. Well done, young man. Take your bows. And we'll see you next time on Good Goal or Bad Defending.